For more than 2 decades, Joaquín Guzmán Lora, known as El Chapo, ruled one of the most destructive criminal empires in modern history. His organization moved enormous quantities of drugs across borders, flooded cities with narcotics, corrupted officials, and left a trail of violence and disappearances across Mexico and beyond. Unlike other cartel leaders, El Chapo turned trafficking into an industrial operation, using fear and murder as tools to control territory. He built a system of crime so powerful that entire regions became ungovernable. Despite being hunted by 2 nations, he repeatedly evaded capture, turning every operation against him into a global chase. In 1993, Mexican intelligence learned he was attempting to escape the country through Guatemala. At an airport parking lot in Guatemala City, police surrounded him after a brief shootout. Officers moved in, securing the area, while Guzmán was restrained and escorted into custody. Guatemalan authorities handed him over to Mexico, and he was transferred to Puente Grande, a high-security prison. The government announced the capture as a major victory, but it would only last a few years. In the early hours of January 19, 2001, the prison yard of Puente Grande lay quiet. Guards were distracted. A laundry cart moved slowly out of the facility, and inside, Guzmán was hidden. As the cart rolled through the gates, the alarm finally sounded, but it was too late. He disappeared into Mexico's mountains and safe houses, eluding authorities for 13 years while rebuilding his network. By February 2014, intelligence agents tracked him to a condominium in Mazatlan, a bustling coastal city in Sinaloa. Surveillance teams watched from rooftops and nearby streets. At dawn, Mexican Marines quietly moved through the lobby. Armed officers entered the apartment, securing the family inside. They approached him, and he surrendered without a fight. He was escorted out of the building, placed in armored vehicles, and driven to Altiplano, a maximum security prison near Mexico City. His presence in a public tourist city shocked many, but the authorities had him now, at least for a while. In July 2015, Altiplano prison fell silent in the dead of night. Hidden beneath one of Guzmán's cells, workers had constructed a tunnel equipped with lights, ventilation, and a motorcycle on rails. Security cameras failed to detect him as he climbed into the tunnel. Officers discovered the escape hours later, too late to stop it. He resurfaced elsewhere, free once again, leaving the prison in chaos and raising questions about corruption and oversight. On January 8, 2016, intelligence pinpointed Guzmán to a house in Los Mochis, Sinaloa. Pre-dawn, Marines quietly surrounded the property. As the first light touched the streets, officers breached the house. He rushed to the bathroom, sliding into a tunnel beneath the building. Emerging onto the street, he grabbed a car and attempted to flee. Local police blocked the roads, intercepting the vehicle, while officers secured the perimeter. Within minutes, Guzmán was restrained and placed in custody, ending his run. Following that operation, authorities coordinated with international partners. In January 2017, he was extradited to the United States, arriving under tight security. He was transported to federal custody and prepared for trial. By July 2019, he stood in a New York courtroom as prosecutors presented evidence of his massive drug trafficking and conspiracy to commit murder. When the verdict was announced, he was sentenced to life imprisonment plus 30 years and transferred to ADX Florence in Colorado, one of the most secure prisons in the world. Each capture showed a different stage of his life: the rising trafficker, the global cartel leader, and the fugitive with nowhere left to hide. These locations mark not just arrests, but moments when a man who controlled empires met the limits of his power. And though he now sits behind bars, the shadow of his empire lingers across Mexico and beyond.